What if I told you that the most powerful person in America was surrounded by a team that treated the presidency like a reality TV show? Today we're diving deep into one of the most explosive political tell-alls ever written, a book that pulled back the curtain on the Trump White House in ways that shocked even seasoned Washington insiders. I'm talking about Stephanie Grisham's bombshell memoir that sent shockwaves through the political establishment when it dropped in 2021. This isn't just another political book gathering dust on shelves. This is a front row seat to the chaos, the power plays, and the human drama that unfolded behind the most famous door in America. But here's what makes this story absolutely fascinating. Grisham wasn't some outside observer throwing stones. She was the longest-serving press secretary in Trump administration history, spending over 2 years as the voice of the White House without ever holding a single press briefing. Think about that for a moment. The person whose job it was to communicate with the American people never once stood at that podium. She also served as Melania Trump's chief of staff, giving her unprecedented access to the most private moments of the first family. What she witnessed during those years would eventually compel her to break her silence in the most dramatic way possible, resigning on January 6, 2021, as the Capitol was under siege. Stephanie Grisham's memoir represents something unprecedented in American political literature. Unlike typical Washington tell-alls written by outsiders or former officials with axes to grind, this book comes from someone who occupied a unique position of trust within the Trump inner circle. Grisham served dual roles that gave her extraordinary access to both the public-facing machinery of the presidency and the intimate private world of the first family. Her journey from a small-town Arizona girl to the corridors of power reads like a modern American political thriller. Starting as a campaign volunteer in 2015, she worked her way up through various communications roles, eventually becoming the longest-serving press secretary in the administration's history. Her tenure was marked by an unprecedented decision to never hold a formal press briefing, a choice that would define her legacy and create intense scrutiny from media and political observers. What sets this memoir apart is Grisham's insider perspective on Melania Trump, a figure who remained largely enigmatic throughout her husband's presidency. As the First Lady's chief of staff, Grisham witnessed private moments, personal struggles, and behind-the-scenes dynamics that no other memoir has captured. Her dual loyalty to both Donald and Melania Trump created complex ethical dilemmas that she explores with surprising candor. The book's timing proved explosive, arriving as investigations into January 6th were intensifying and as Trump's influence on the Republican Party remained strong. Grisham's decision to speak out represented a significant break from the loyalty culture that defined the Trump administration, where silence and unwavering support were expected from all staff members. The memoir chronicles Grisham's transformation from devoted supporter to disillusioned insider over the course of nearly 6 years. Her story begins with genuine admiration for Trump's outsider status and his promise to shake up Washington's establishment. She describes her initial excitement at being part of a movement that seemed to represent ordinary Americans against political elites. However, as she gained deeper access to the president's daily operations, Grisham witnessed behaviour that increasingly troubled her. She details a White House culture dominated by paranoia, where staff members competed for access and favour while living in constant fear of sudden termination. The president's unpredictable moods and demands created an environment where long-term planning became impossible, and crisis management became the norm. Her relationship with Melania Trump forms a central narrative thread, revealing a complex woman caught between public expectations and private desires. Grisham portrays the First Lady as someone who often disagreed with her husband's actions but felt constrained by her position and circumstances. Their working relationship evolved into something resembling friendship, though professional boundaries remained carefully maintained. The memoir builds toward its climactic moment on January 6, 2021, when Grisham watched the Capitol attack unfold while serving as the First Lady's chief of staff. Her decision to resign that day, communicated through a brief text message, represented the culmination of mounting concerns about the direction of the administration and her own role in enabling behaviour she had come to view as dangerous to American democracy. The book reveals 8 major events that shaped Grisham's experience and ultimate decision to speak out. Her initial recruitment to the campaign happened almost by accident when she volunteered for a Trump rally in Arizona. Her energy and loyalty quickly caught the attention of senior staff, leading to her rapid advancement through various communications roles. This early period was marked by genuine enthusiasm for the Trump message and excitement about being part of a historic political movement. The transition from campaign to White House brought unexpected challenges, as Grisham discovered the immense pressure and scrutiny that came with serving in the nation's most powerful institution. She describes the steep learning curve of adapting campaign-style communications to the formal requirements of presidential messaging, while dealing with a president who often preferred to communicate directly through social media rather than through traditional channels. Her appointment as press secretary in 2019 marked a turning point in her career and her understanding of the administration's dysfunction. The decision to eliminate daily press briefings wasn't presented as a temporary measure, but became a defining characteristic of her tenure. She explains the complex factors that led to this unprecedented choice, including the president's preference for controlling his own message and the increasingly hostile relationship between the White House and media establishment. Working closely with Melania Trump provided Grisham with insights into the private struggles of the First Family. She witnessed the tension between Melania's desire for privacy and the public demands of her position. The First Lady's careful approach to public appearances and her reluctance to embrace traditional First Lady roles created constant challenges for Grisham's communication strategy. The COVID-19 pandemic represented a crisis that exposed the administration's decision-making processes and communication failures. Grisham was present for key meetings and decisions that shaped the federal response to the health emergency. She describes watching the president struggle with the political implications of acknowledging the pandemic's severity while maintaining his preferred narrative of strength and control. The 2020 election campaign brought new pressures as Grisham found herself defending increasingly controversial statements and positions. She details the growing disconnect between public messaging and private acknowledgements among staff about the campaign's challenges. The period following the election, with its claims of fraud and legal challenges, created ethical dilemmas that tested her loyalty and professional integrity. Her relationship with other senior staff members, particularly Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, revealed the complex power dynamics within the administration. Grisham describes feeling caught between competing factions and struggling to maintain her effectiveness, while navigating personal and professional conflicts that often played out in public. The final months of the administration, culminating in January 6th, represented a crisis of conscience for Grisham. She provides detailed accounts of conversations and meetings that revealed the depth of the president's commitment to challenging the election results. Her decision to resign on January 6th came after watching the Capitol attack unfold and concluding that she could no longer serve in good conscience. The memoir offers 10 crucial lessons about power, loyalty, and moral courage in high-stakes political environments. First, Grisham demonstrates how gradual compromise can lead individuals to participate in actions they would have previously found unthinkable. Her journey illustrates the slow erosion of ethical boundaries that can occur when personal advancement and loyalty to powerful figures take precedence over broader moral considerations. Second, the book reveals how personality-driven leadership can create institutional dysfunction that undermines effective governance. Grisham's accounts show how the president's need for constant validation and his unpredictable decision-making style created chaos that affected policy implementation and staff morale throughout the administration. Third, her experience highlights the unique challenges faced by women in high-pressure political roles. She describes navigating male-dominated environments while maintaining professional credibility and dealing with gender-specific expectations and criticisms that her male colleagues didn't face. Fifth, her relationship with Melania Trump demonstrates the complex human dimensions of political power. The First Lady emerges as a more nuanced figure than public perception suggested, dealing with personal struggles while fulfilling public responsibilities under intense scrutiny. Sixth, the book shows how proximity to power can create both opportunities and moral hazards. Grisham's access to high-level meetings and private conversations gave her unprecedented insights, but also made her complicit in decisions she later questioned. Seventh, her experience reveals the importance of maintaining personal integrity even when professional success demands compromise. Her eventual decision to speak out demonstrates how individuals can reclaim their moral authority even after participating in questionable activities. Eighth, the memoir illustrates how crisis situations reveal true character and priorities. The COVID-19 pandemic and January 6th events forced Grisham to confront the gap between her personal values and her professional obligations. Ninth, her story shows how personal relationships can complicate professional duties in political environments. Her genuine affection for Melania Trump created conflicts between loyalty to individuals and responsibility to broader democratic principles. Tenth, The book demonstrates the courage required to break with powerful figures and institutions. Grisham's decision to write the memoir, despite potential personal and professional consequences, illustrates the difficulty and importance of speaking truth to power. Stephanie Grisham's memoir stands as a remarkable document of American political history, offering insights that extend far beyond partisan politics. Her willingness to confront her own complicity in events she later questioned demonstrates a level of self-reflection rare in political memoirs. The book succeeds not just as a behind-the-scenes account of a tumultuous presidency, but as a meditation on conscience, loyalty, and the price of speaking truth in powerful institutions. The memoir's lasting value lies in its human portrayal of political figures often reduced to caricatures in public discourse. Grisham's nuanced depiction of Melania Trump in particular adds complexity to our understanding of the Trump presidency and the personal costs of political power. Her account challenges readers to consider how ordinary people can become complicit in extraordinary circumstances and what it takes to reclaim moral authority. Perhaps most importantly, the book serves as a cautionary tale about the fragility of democratic institutions and the importance of individual conscience in preserving them. Grisham's journey from devoted supporter to whistleblower illustrates both the dangers of unchecked power and the possibility of moral redemption through courageous action. For anyone seeking to understand the Trump presidency, the nature of political power, or the personal costs of serving in high-stakes government positions, this memoir provides invaluable insights. It reminds us that behind every political moment are real people making difficult choices that shape our collective future.